Dear students, in the previous session we discussed about the complete life cycle of weeds. Now let us go further in detail about the crop weed survival mechanism. This survival methodology is technically called as crop weed competition. In this session we will go in detail about crop weed competition. For proper growth of crops or weeds, light, water, that is moisture, carbon dioxide and nutrients are required. In general, the growth density of one plant may hamper the growth of the other. Therefore, they compete and try to dominate the other plant or species for survival. Do you know that plants also release toxic substances? Yes, they do release some chemical substance. The release of toxic substance by plant is termed as allelopathy. Now let us learn about crop weed competition and allelopathy in detail. Crop weed competition. Weeds adapt well to agro ecosystem than crop plants. Weeds compete with crop plants for nutrients, moisture, light and space, which are essential requirement of crop production. Generally, an increase in weed growth will decrease crop growth. Hence, weed management strategies should aim at limiting the deleterious effect of weeds growing along with crop plants. These deleterious effects can be quite variable, but the most common is competition for growth factors such as light, water, etc. Those quantities of growth factors used by weeds are thus unavailable to the crop. If weeds are able to utilize a sufficient amount of some growth factor to the determinant of the crop, the result can be and often is an adverse impact on crop yield. The most common method currently employed to manage weeds is the use of herbicides. Farmers can choose from many options, each with its own distinct set of advantages and disadvantages. In addition, there are several different methods for applying herbicides. Regardless of the herbicide or method of application, the goal of using a herbicide is to prevent the weeds from contributing to a crop yield loss by reducing the amount of competition exerted by the weed. Recently, the concept of crop weed competition has become a marketing strategy for several herbicide manufacturers. The point of debate tends to focus on when competition, mainly from weeds, should be removed so that crop yields are not affected. Some maintain that soil applied herbicide should be used to eliminate any early season weed competition, while others propose that the crop can compete with weed for some time without affecting yields. So, let us see about critical period of crop weed competition. Critical period of crop weed competition is defined as the shortest time span during the crop growth when weeds results in highest economic returns. The weed competition in crop field is invariably severe in early stages of crop than at later stages. The critical period of competition defines the span of duration the weeds compete with crops before affecting yields. There are two critical periods. First, weeds that emerge at the same time as the crop. Second, weeds that emerge after crop emergence. Now, we will see about the effect of weeds that emerge at the same time as the crop. Weeds that emerge at the same time as the crop have the potential to affect crop yields. This critical period of weed competition is before the emergence of crops. Second, weeds that emerge after crop emergence. When the time interval between crop and weed emergence increases, the effect of crop yield decreases. In most cases, the impact of weeds will be less on crops. Weed density is correlated with the critical period. Shorter critical period results in high weed population. The time at which weeds began to impact crop yield depends on many factors, which include weed density, soil moisture, etc. Now, the key points about critical period of crop weed competition. The key points are: the amount of crop yield obtained during this period is almost similar to that obtained during seasons with weed free condition. Second, the critical period of weed competition is approximately 1/3 of the duration of crop. Weeds compete with crops for nutrients, moisture, light and space. Let us look into crop weed competition in detail. First, the competition for nutrients. Crop vary in their ability to compete with weeds. Weeds are quick absorber of nutrients. They absorb minerals and other nutrients faster than many crop plants. The absorbed nutrients are accumulated in their tissues in relatively large amounts. Some examples are Amaranthus species, which accumulates over 3% nitrogen on dry weight basis, and it is termed as nitrophils. The other examples are Acheranthus aspera, a pea accumulator with over 1.5%, Chenopodium species and Portulaca species, which are termed as K lovers, as it contains more than 1.3% K2O in their dry matter. Weeds are responsive to nitrogen and utilize more of applied nitrogen than the crop. An example is Echinoclova crasgalli that absorbs more nitrogen than rice. Weed absorb nutrients at rapidly higher rates than the crop plants. This leads to depletion or removal of essential nutrients from the soil. As a result, the crops are bound to remove only a small amount of nutrients from the soil. An example of such a kind is during the early stages of maize cultivation. Here, the weeds are observed to remove 9% more of nitrogen, 10% more of phosphorus and 7 times more of potassium. Then competition for moisture. Weeds transpire more water than croplands. In dry and semi-dry areas where there is dearth of soil moisture, transpiration in weeds increases considerably. C4 plants utilize more water efficiently, producing more biomass per unit of water. The weed Cynodon dactylon had almost twice the transpiration rate as that of pearl millet. Since weed absorb more water, it results in the exhaustion of moisture, causing significant loss in crop yields. The root system of weeds varies widely among species. For example, Coccobella has an extensive root system that acquires water intensively, increasing its competitiveness. When the availability of moisture is less, weeds can cause 50% reduction in crop yields. Then, competition for light. In areas where there is dense weed growth like shrub, the crop plants compete for light. The crop receive very less light due to dense growth of weeds, and some wheat plants grow taller than crops. When weeds grow taller than the crops, they tend to shade the crop plants. In such cases, crop plants do not benefit from light even if the intensity of light is higher. Light is an essential component in the process of photosynthesis. The role of light is essential when moisture and nutrients are not a limiting factor for crop growth. Then we will see about competition for space. Crop heat competition for space is the requirement of carbon dioxide which may occur under extremely crowded plant community conditions. The loss that invasive weeds inflict is well documented, particularly because they are so successful in competing for space if not kept in check. These weeds are all the more successful in eliminating the neighboring plants as insects and diseases and local wildlife generally stay away from these unfamiliar plants. Example, a more efficient utilization of carbon dioxide by C4 weeds may contribute to the rapid growth of over C3 crops. Now, let us see about factors influencing crop weed competition. There are various factors that influence the crop weed competition. They are density of weeds. Increase in density of weeds result in the decrease in crop yield. However, the relation is not linear. A few weeds do not affect the yields so much as the other weeds does, and hence it is a sigmoidal relationship. In areas where the weed density is low, the impact of crop is very low. There will be enough resources for the crops and weeds when weed density is low. There are two types of competition. They are based on density of weeds. One, interspecific competition. Here, the competition between two species, that is crop versus weed, is termed as interspecific competition. In low weed density conditions, individual weeds do not compete with each other, but compete with the crop. Intraspecific competition. Here, the competition among plants of same species, weed versus weed, is termed as intraspecific competition. This type of competition occurs at high weed densities. In such conditions, weeds began to compete with each other as well as with crop plants. Both inter and intraspecific competition occurs at high weed densities. The second one is crop density. When crop density increases, the weed growth and competition reduces. Crop density is an important factor which determines the quantity and quality of crop environment available for growth of weeds. Wider row spacing with high intra-row crop plant population may reduce dense weed growth. Then, types of weed species. Ability to compete with other plants differs for each weed species. The type of weeds that grow along with a particular crop influences the competition between the crop and weed. Example, Echinococca crasgalli in rice, Setaria viridis in corn that affects the yields. The next one is type of crop species and their varieties. Crop varieties differ in their competing ability with weeds. Barley has high tolerance to competition from weeds. This is due to its ability to develop extensive root system. Fast growing and tall crops have less competition from weeds than the slow growing and short crops. Dwarf and semi-dwarf varieties of crops are usually more susceptible to competition from weeds than the tall varieties. The next one is soil factors. Soil type, soil fertility, soil moisture and soil reaction influences the crop weed competition. Fertile soil usually stimulates weeds more than the crop. Weeds adapt to environmental conditions and grow well. They compete with crops in both moisture stress and optimum moisture condition. Crop yield may increase upon removal of moisture stress. Abnormal soil reaction often aggravate weed competition. Crops require a specific range of soil pH to survive. Weeds tend to compete more with crops on normal pH soil. Next one is climate. Weeds grow and have the ability to withstand adverse weather conditions such as drought, excessive rains and extremes of temperature. Most of our croplands are susceptible to climatic stress. These stresses weaken the capacity of crop to fight weeds. The next is time of germination. When the time of germination of crop coincides with the emergence of weeds, it leads to intense crop weed competition. All annual crops, example sugarcane, takes about 1 month to complete its germination phase, while weeds require very less time to complete its germination. Next one is cultivation practices. Cropping practices such as method of planting, crop density and geometry influences crop weed competition. Crop species and varieties have also some effects of crop weed competition. The next one is crop maturity. Maturity of the crop is another factor which affects competition between weeds and crop. After the crops are well established, the competition for weeds decreases. Establishment of crop occurs as the age of the crop increases. Timely weeding in the early growth stages of the crop enhances the yield significantly. In general, it can be taken that the crop should be kept free from weed competition for half of its duration. The next one is competitive effect of weeds. The effect of different weeds on dry weight growth of croplands were used as a measure on their competitive abilities. The abilities from each experiment were collected on the basis of the effects of Chenopodium album, which was included as a standard in all experiments. The order of competitive abilities obtained was with Calle. First Synapsis arvensis, then Polygonum convolvulus and Alopercurus myosuroides, then Chenopodium album, Polygonum uvicolor and Polygonum persicaria, followed by Merticarium artitima, subspecies inodora, and finally Stellaria media, Capsula bursa pastoris, Veronica persica and Anagali arvensis with wheat. A similar order, but Polygonum convolvulus has less competitive ability than Alopercurus and about the same as Chenopodium, and Polygonum avicolor and Matricaria had about the same value as Veronica. The effect of nitrogen on Calle and on sugar feed was statistically significant, but on wheat it was significant in only one experiment. Weed effects generally were not significantly decreased by high nitrogen. The effect of synapsis on Calle and Chenopodium on wheat were increased. The leaf nitrogen percent of Calle and sugar beet was greatly increased by high nitrogen, but usually only slightly affected by weeds. Nitrogen deficiency seems not to have been the sole cause of weed effects. In two experiments with wheat, although high soil nitrogen increased the leaf nitrogen percentage of plants with weeds, it had little effect on their leaf dry weight, so that competition for nitrogen appeared non-effective. In a third experiment, Alopercurus and Synapsis both appeared to compete with wheat for nitrogen. Weed density and relative time of weed emergence have impacts on crop weed interaction. The timing of weed emergence relative to crop emergence is important to crop growth and yield. Weeds emerging before the crop causes greater yield loss. Weeds reduce the economic yields as a result of competition. The relationship between weed density and yield loss is curvilinear and conforms to rectangular hyperbola. As weed density increases, intraspecific competition increases, reducing the competitive ability per individual. competition is most often severe for below ground resources, namely water and nutrients, but changes during the development, resulting in increased competition for the above ground resources such as light. Individual weeds differ in their competitive relationship within specific crops. Early emerging weeds cohorts are most competitive, but species differ in their competitiveness, necessitating a system of ranking. Now, we will see about allelopathic effect of weeds. The phenomenon of one plant having detrimental effect on another through the production and exertion of toxic substance is called as allelopathy. Weeds are undesirable plants which compete with crops in the growth for nutrient, moisture, space, light and hinder the growth of crops. This reduces the growth and yield of crops both quantitatively and qualitatively. Weeds are the most severe and widespread biological constraint to crop production. Many plants produce chemicals that may be harmful or beneficial to other plants. These chemical compounds affect the other plants directly or indirectly and escapes into the environment. Weeds are known to exhibit allelopathy by releasing water soluble chemicals from leaves, stem, roots, rhizome, flowers, fruits and seeds. Higher plant releases a variety of allele chemicals into the environment, which includes phenolics, alkaloids, long chain fatty acids, terpenoids and flavonoids. The compounds exhibit a wide range of mechanism of action such as photosynthetic and mitochondrial function, phytochrome activity, ion uptake and water balance. Allelopathic effect of these compounds is often observed to occur early in the life cycle, causing inhibition on seed germination and seedling growth. Example: maize. Leaves and inflorescence of Parthenium species affect the germination and seedling growth. Tubers of Cyperus esculentus affects the dry matter production. In case of sorghum, stem of Solanum affects germination and seedling growth. Leaves and inflorescence of Parthenium affect germination and seedling growth. In case of wheat, seeds of wild oat affect germination and early seedling growth. Leaves of Parthenium affect the general growth. Androecium of Parthenium will be the host for yellow mosaic of Bendy, yellow streak virus of turmeric, groundnut necrosis and viral infection. Tubers of Cyperus rotundus affect dry matter production. Green and dried leaves of Argemone mexicana affect germination and seedling growth. In case of sunflower, seeds of Datura affect germination and growth. Now, we will see about allelopathic effect of crop plants. Allelopathic substances are most commonly found in plants extracts and in plant residues of soil. The allelochemicals are an important defense for certain plants against the interference of other plants of the same species or different species, which can affect their growth and development. Root exudation of maize inhibits the growth of Chenopodium album. The cold water extracts of wheat straw, when applied to soil, reduces the germination and growth of Abutilon species. Then the allelopathic effect of weeds on weeds itself. Example: extract of leaf leachate and decaying leaves of Polygonum contains flavonoids which are toxic to germination, root and hypocotyl growth of weeds such as Amaranthus spinosus. Inhibitors secreted by decaying rhizomes of Sorghum halephans affects the growth of Digitaria sanguinalis and Amaranthus species. Now, we will see about the effect of allelopathy. The effect of allelopathy can be generalized that are common across different species of crops. They are reduced crop yield, inhibition of germination, growth of roots and other parts, stunted growth, contamination of crops. Now, we will see about factors influencing allelopathy. Various factors influence allelopathy. Plant factors. Higher the crop density, the lesser will be the allelochemicals it encounters. If weed emerges later, there will be less problem of allelochemicals. The release of allelochemicals occurs only at critical stage. Example, in case of Parthenium, allelopathy occurs during its rosette and flowering stage. The allelopathic interference is higher in perennial weeds. Cultivated soil has higher values of allelopathy than uncultivated soil. Then climatic factors. Soil temperature and moisture influences the allelochemical potential. Then soil factors. Physicochemical and biological properties influences the presence of allelochemicals. Then stress factors. Abiotic and biotic stresses may also influence the activity of allelochemicals. Now, we will see about the mechanism of action of allelochemicals. Allelochemicals interfere with cell elongation, photosynthesis, respiration, mineral uptake, protein and nucleic acid metabolism. Thus, we can say that it interferes in all aspects of plant growth. Since the basic requirement of plant growth are affected, the survival of plants become difficult. Use of allelopathy in biological control of weeds. The concept is positively used in biological control of weeds. They are use of cover crops for biological control, use of allelochemicals as bioherbicides. To conclude this session, we can say that we discussed the crop weed competition, competitive effect of weeds and crops and allelopathic effect of crops and weeds. To summarize, critical period of weed competition is defined as the shortest span of duration during the crop growth when weeding results in highest economic returns. Weeds compete for light, moisture, nutrient and space. Many factors affect crop weed competition. The factors include weed and crop density, type of weed and species, soil, climate, time of germination, cropping practices and crop maturity. Then the phenomenon of one plant having detrimental effect on another through the production and excretion of toxic compounds is called allelopathy. In order to plan the control of weeds, it is important to understand the competition and its effects. Control method may vary depending on the weed species.